All right, thank you for staying with us. We're still continuing the discussion on how to fix Nairobi. And like Jonathan Mweke says, it's not a blame game. It's solutions we're looking for. And you're winding up, Jonathan.
Yes, I was winding up. So we're just talking about 5 things that you could do. The first one was the leadership. Second one is you have to resource the leadership, give them the finances. The third one is building the institution, the county. The staff who do the work, the person who actually comes and collects your garbage or fixes your road or puts your street light, are they competent? Can they actually do the work? And if they can't, do you have performance management structures in place to be able to ensure that people are able to work? Okay. Then the other one is global benchmarking. Yeah, go around the world. There's functional cities around the world. Are there things that we can borrow and put in here? Okay. But the bottom line is you can have all these policies in place. You can have all these structures and plans that you'd want to do. But if you don't have the right leader, and I'm not saying here leaders, because you can't have 2 leaders, the right leader, because strategy and vision is only driven by a leader. You don't hear somebody saying the big 4 is Ruto's. It's not Ruto's. It's Uhuru Kenyatta as our president, because he's the leader. So we just need to be able to get the right leader, then you'll see Nairobi will change. So I'm telling this Wananchi here, I can run Nairobi. Give me this job. I have the goodwill.
No campaign, no campaign.
I have the goodwill, and we fix the city for our children. I rest my case.
Lee, this is where you're going with that. Lee, what do you think?
Okay, thank you. Looking at solutions.
Yes.
As we have seen, leadership is one of the challenges. And looking at the way to de-risk the city, and we have seen that the voters have voted according to their wisdom, but the results have not been positive. To de-risk this city, and we need to look now at options, is to get the national government involved, where we take out Nairobi out of our conventional ways of electing leaders, and particularly the level of governor, and get it managed the way Washington, D.C. is managed as a capital. Nairobi is a very important city in Africa, in East Africa, and to the Kenyan people. Get national government involved, de-risk the city, move it out of the electoral cycles, and put it as a special category city like Washington, D.C. So the national government would put together highly skilled and well-respected leadership that has track record and that can be able to manage the institution of the city and deliver all those services. Okay. Secondly, the participation of the citizens on initiatives where citizens can be able to make a difference. I think the time to watch and listen and complain is over. We need to take responsibility also. Take Karura Forest, for example. The initiative of improving Karura Forest to the state as it is, and a beautiful place for Kenyans who, we all go there sometimes to relax and walk. It's Friends of Karura managing. So if we can be able to organize the residents to take up various institutions, places, and take responsibility to make Nairobi better for all of us, we can make a huge difference.
All right.
Third, urbanization. The rural-urban migration is major. We need to plan this city to accommodate, and that point has already come, a growing population. Lastly, is create Nairobi as an economic center. Okay. For young people who have spoken here today, jobs will come from enterprise. So the moment we are able to position Nairobi as an economic hub and do everything possible to encourage a thriving enterprise, right from the startups to micro and small enterprises to large business, together we can create a lot of employment for our people. Okay. So we need to position the city and do everything that we need to do as the center of an economic environment.
All right.
And lastly, tourism.
Tourism.
Many cities around the world become very valuable because of showcasing themselves as tourism centers. Okay. The amount of opportunities we have in this city for purposes of tourism and bringing visitors as economic opportunity, and also bringing investors and also domestic Kenyans coming to visit Nairobi. If we can be able to work Nairobi to be a beautiful place, rework our centers of tourism interest, we can be able to make it even a much more enjoyable and valuable city. So let's make it a tourism destination for the Kenyan people, East Africans, the African people, and the international community.
All right. I'll come to Ken and Constant Cap to wind up, but very brief comments back here.
My good name is Dan Brighton, student leader at the Multimedia University of Kenya and MCA 2022 for South B Ward. I'll be working with you, Deputy Governor. Well, so what I could like to say about this whole issue is that the problem is us and the solution is us. Like we the youths, we're supposed to, no one will come to tell you like do this, no one will show you how to fish. Follow those fishermen. Follow them and then you will know from whatever they are doing. Like for example, if I can just give an example of myself, I was a street kid here in Afya Center. I could still there, but from there I went and became a watchman. From the watchman, whatever I could get, I went back to school. I finished Form 4 and now I'm in campus. I work at night as at Superloaf. From here I'm going to Superloaf, and from there tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'll be at work. Then later on I have an exam at school in Multimedia University. You see how you plan yourself. We as youths, no one will come to tell you like do this. No political leader will come to give you a job. Like just come to Nairobi city here, I'm just giving you any job that you want. No one will tell us to do that. Just get out from your beds, get out from Twitter. The energy that we use for trending those people, those things like trending Twitter, that energy, get out and start working. Then I will also second our leaders here that we should have a different way of having different avenues of having leaders. We as citizens, we have failed because all through we have given out leaders, then we come to cry that it is our leaders, it's our leaders. Until when? And again, if you have been given 5 years, you haven't done anything. Why should we give you another 5 years? Why should you come like my deputy governor, former deputy governor? You say that you were there for 5 years, but because of the governor who was there, you couldn't do a lot. You could have resigned like Igathe did and said I couldn't do it. So anyway, thank you so much. Let's be the change of this thing. We are the problem and we are the solution.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
There's a microphone back there. Keep it very brief. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Godfrey Odingo.
Yes.
I think my most important point is that we are trying to dodge the fact that the political parties are the main problems behind the economic problems we are facing right now.
That has been spoken about, the political parties.
Yeah, I wanted to affirm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we need to, they should really avoid selecting for us the people that we should vote for.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we can find it easier getting the correct people who can really help us.
Got it. Very briefly. Then pass the microphone back here. Yes.
My name is Dennis Moi Mungai, the economic liberator. First, I heard Mr. Jonathan, the former deputy governor, saying that we should follow the law. First, we can't follow the law and you don't follow the law. Few months ago, allowed June, maybe July there, we had the parking fee being increased from 200 to 400. That is 100%. That's uncouth, that's barbaric. Am I right there? Second one.
It's not his administration though, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Second one, after the parking fee was increased, the residents of Nairobi went to the court, and the court order said that the status quo should remain. You see, you see, the governor didn't follow the law. He went on increasing the parking fee, and to remain to 400 without national government consultation, public consultation.
Okay.
My last solution is this. As we say, the Nairobi we want. Nairobi is one of the top 5 counties that collect the highest tax. First, I think, according to my mind, we should separate the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the health, the education, the defense.
Okay.
All this should be shared among the national government, because if we let these people continue governing these ministries, they will continue being corrupt.
Okay.
And as we talk them being corrupt, I heard my friend there talking about we are the ones who bring poverty. We can't be the one who brings poverty. And yet, I go to work for the rich. Let me tell you, the rich will continue to be rich. They will continue to accumulate the capital, and we will remain to be poor.
Okay,
so it
got
is.
it. That's okay. All right, wrap up for us. Yes.
Thank you very much, Trevor. The cure for incompetence lies in humility.
Okay.
The county government of Nairobi leadership is incompetent, and the major problem is arrogance. You can't be incompetent and arrogant at the same time. I think that is the worst combination ever. The people of Nairobi have twice in their lifetime demonstrated that they are unable to make political decisions. In 2013, they gave us the Kidero Mweke pair. Based on professionalism, that is the best intellectual pair that any county would have received. The outcome was tragic. In 2017, they gave us Sonko Igathe. So they wanted to pair illiteracy and literacy. That combination backfired on arrival, and Igathe had to excuse himself. So we left with incompetence. It has not given us any results. We thank Mweke for giving us bad results. Now we are in a situation where we have no results at all. We cannot gauge whether the results are good or bad. Okay. The sovereignty of the people, the sovereignty lies with the people. That is the first article of the Constitution. And the people of Nairobi cannot claim to be helpless. They actually have the ultimate power. They can force the change of regime at any time that they want. And I think it was a bad idea to have Nairobi county government being elected by the Nairobians. Nairobi belongs to all of us. People in Mumias, people in Khabondi, people in Busia belong to Nairobi. We should not leave Nairobi decisions to Nairobians themselves. And now time has come to remove Nairobi as part of the 47 counties. We remain with 46. Nairobi becomes a metropolitan, so that we get a Matiang'i Magoha pair to dismantle all the cartels, so that we move forward as a nation.
Constant.
Thank you.
Prof, you have your microphone. Let's hear from Constant Cap. Just give Constant Cap, then I'll come to you, Prof.
I find it very interesting how this discussion of re-centralizing the city is coming up. And yet, for many years, the central government appointed a town clerk to run the city. And we saw it deteriorating day in, day out. And I'll actually defend the previous regime to some extent, because there are a number of functions that the central government has continued to hold on to, other than devolving them fully and providing the necessary finances for that. Good example is transport and mobility. Okay, we still have a body called the Kenya Urban Roads Authority. I do not know where that lies within the Kenyan Constitution, but transport and roads are actually a county function. Okay, now we have Kenya Highways Authority coming up with an obnoxious idea of it's an expressway, you know, overpass over the city, without thinking of the actual needs of the people in the city. But somebody told me, you know, a smart city is a city that makes smart decisions, and that has to be done by prioritizing the people. That has to be done by providing its government with the necessary resources required to do that. You may not be aware, you know, Nairobi has a deficit of 110 markets. Okay, we should have about 1 market per 20,000 people. We have 43 to 47 markets. The current CIDP only indicates the development of about 5 or 6, and that is over the 5-year period. So where are the other 105? That is why we have kiosks popping up, you know, outside Kenyatta Market, outside somebody's backyard. That goes back to resourcing, planning, strategizing, long-term visioning. Whether you have central government, local government, village government running it, you still need to have that resourcing and have the correct people taking charge of it. We have very competent staff within City Hall, I will tell you that. Okay, I mean, I'm there every week for one reason or another, professionally. They are very good planners, very good engineers, but you have a roads department where an engineer is busy chasing a contractor, you know, to do a small pedestrian path, because the majority of the roads are in charge of a central government unit. So how do we want to give it back to the central government unit? I mean, let's take devolution seriously. Okay, health sector, that should be under the county government. Are we giving it enough resources to manage that? Are we paying the doctors well enough, what they deserve as professionals? And that goes down again, I'll put it down to prioritizing the people, putting people at the priority. And central government is very poor doing some of these things. We saw the challenges with the slum upgrading project in Kibera. People who are moved to a decanting site, they are still there, but there are people living in those houses. People from the area can admit that. So we need to really rethink this desire of recentralizing the city and killing devolution, which is something we asked for.
Yeah.
We asked to choose our own, the councillors used to choose the mayor.
Okay.
The central government would choose the town clerk. We asked for that to be changed. We are 4.5 million people. That is peanuts. London was 8 million people in the 30s. Kinshasa is what, 12? Lagos is 10. We're still a small. In China, we are a village. We're a village.
Okay.
I mean, we just need to get, and then we need to get our management practices right. If you're stealing, you go to jail. There's no discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Prof.
Yes. No, thanks, and I'm happy this is coming through because BBI report has suggested that that we actually consider centralizing Nairobi. But everybody who's here, who lived before devolution and after devolution, knows how bad central government is.
Yes.
The little that has happened in our lifetime has happened because of devolution. I think it's totally mischievous for anybody to try to re-centralize Nairobi. There are two issues. Of course, all I hope is that we can have an honest debate about the status of Nairobi. How did Nairobi end up in the constitution as the constitutional capital of Kenya? It was actually dishonest individuals who wanted to continue benefiting disproportionately from our sweat as a nation that did that. Why are we removing container freight stations from Mombasa to Nairobi, which we are saying is dysfunctional? These to me are signs of re-centralization. Honestly, at least when the city is running badly, there's somebody I can go and ask and complain about. When national government steals and loots in billions, whom do you go to ask? At least I'm here with the governor. I'll tell him what's happening. Finding a minister is impossible. I think it's mischievous, and I disagree totally with the Washington DC model. You know the problem with the Washington DC model. There is no representation. The citizens of Washington DC, in fact, is one of the places where the adage is very simple, that you pay your taxes, but you actually have no voice because the place is run by national government. Do you want a situation? I'm so strong and very clear in my head that the citizen's voice must be heard, and I believe the citizen's voice is heard at the lowest levels possible. The citizen's voice will never be heard at the highest level possible. In Washington DC, the citizen's voice is not heard. In fact, many of them wish they were actually a normal state, so that they can deal with the legislators and so on.
Okay.
It's business people and politicians who've caused us this problem. What we need to do is to actually do away with Nairobi as a constitutional capital city, and ask government what they're doing in Nairobi, and ask those foreign missions what they're doing in Nairobi. Why is the judiciary in Nairobi? Judiciary can be in Machakos. Why is parliament, and we know them, they love themselves, why are they in Nairobi? They can be in Mombasa. Why is civil service headquartered in Nairobi? But you see, immediately we created Nairobi as the capital city. We again pretend that is a normal county. I think the cure for Nairobi, from where I sit, is that we actually need a special legislation to run Nairobi. After putting it in the constitution and giving it special status, we should proceed. I don't know whether we'll need a constitutional amendment for that, but we should proceed to actually create specific legislation that spells out how Nairobi is run, but not by national government. These guys are looting us and stealing from us, and then now want to give them a city. No, from where I sit, no.
All right, thank you guys so much. Professor Alfred Omenya, asante sana. Kennedy Echesa, law lecturer, Constant Cap, urban planner, asante for making time. Lawrence Ngacha, former deputy mayor, Nairobi. Lee Karuri, KEPSA trustee and also an architect. Jonathan Mweke, former deputy governor. Thank you so much for making time, and thank you all for the engaging discussion. I hope this conversation still continues until the day we find a solution, because we have to leave a better Nairobi for our children. We may not see it in our lifetime, we owe it to our children. Let's see what you're saying online. The hashtag is Monday Report. I'll try to squeeze in a few of them because I promised you earlier. Let's see. And so, let's see who is speaking to us on Twitter here. Mtetezi Ero says Nairobi damage is too much and beyond repair. Any solution being raised by a sober Kenyan gets grabbed, hijacked, and used by cartels to loot. All right, let's see what else you're saying here. Bendai says Nairobi's biggest issue is management. Nairobi needs a very competent, learned, and wise leader and not a politician. All right, let's see what else you're saying here on Twitter. Kip Keleng Tuluo says Nairobians are to blame as well. We litter, we build illegal structures, we overtake, and when caught, we blame the government. All right, this is the hashtag Monday Report. Hilda Wamai says, as suggested in the BBI report, Nairobi should be run by the national government, not by governors. It's too much for any governor, let alone Governor Mike Sonko. All right. And that does it for this conversation on the Monday Report. We'll try and squeeze it in at some point as well. Thank you so much for all your feedback. That's the most I could squeeze in. My name is Trevor Mbijo. It was a pleasure having you with us. Let's have these conversations. This is a platform where we get the solutions from you. All right. Good night.